Hello, hello.
Hi.
All right. Are we. Hang on. Let me just put this up a bit. Is that better? Higher. Say, take over the stream, babe.
Oh. Uh.
There
Uh. I will be a horrible host. But that's because I can't do the first 5 minutes. I need to warm up. Remember?
You can't drive, and you can't even drive the show.
I'm good for nothing.
That's not true.
At least I can lay there. Anyway, good morning.
Dead fish. All right. What are we talking about today?
Well, today's topic was my idea.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously I've been obsessed with The Bachelor lately.
And you're a girl, you like romantic movies.
Yeah. And they just made me think of like storylines in movies. And that there are so many that are kind of like unrealistic or like even toxic. Like so often when we watch movies, not even just romantic ones, but also like thrillers and dramas. There's like frustrating moments in the movies where we kind of like end up screaming at the screen.
Well, you say you came up with this, but I kind of inputted a little bit. It's a little bit of mine because you'll watch romantic movies and cliche reality TV and you like watching the drama as entertainment. I'm usually the one that interrupts with reality and goes, oh, that's bullshit. That wouldn't happen. And I talk a lot over romantic bullshit, whereas you're like, can you just enjoy it? It's just a movie. So you notice it, but I think I notice it even more. And that's why I get up and I can't watch like a lot of the reality TV and things like that.
I think I noticed it too, but sometimes like I mind less sometimes. But I guess it depends on what the topic is. Yeah. Yeah, but I was thinking like obviously there are like storylines that a lot of women like. If you think about like Twilight and like 50 Shades of Grey, like how love is portrayed. And that is kind of unrealistic because it would be very rare, I think. And then women like dream about that kind of love, like in Twilight especially.
Yeah, like both of them, like someone might say 50 Shades isn't really love, and a guy wouldn't say that's love. It's kind of like a fetish movie. It's weird. But they, like women watch it because they want them to get together. They want it to be more than just physical. They want it actually to be real, for them to bond together as a guy and a girl. And same with Twilight as well. It's all of them are fantasy stories. No one likes to watch, for some reason, a normal drama where two people get together. They're not that popular when you watch a romantic drama. It's always romance fantasy, romance science fiction, romance comedy. It's always not romance normal, boring, everyday life. And everyone loves the romance thrown into a ridiculous situation for some reason.
Yeah, it's like romance on steroids. You do have like romantic movies that are like drama movies, and those can be like very serious, but that's a bit of a different genre. But
I think people like to be special. Like, think about it. If you went to a place like a party or something, and people are saying, "Oh, how did you and your partner get together?" and you've just got a boring story, like, I went on a website, or my friend introduced me, and she really knew me, and their friend really knew them. We started talking, and we got to know each other, and then after a while, we started. There's nothing special about it. But people really love the stories of I was just reaching for the cantaloupe in the supermarket, and our hands touched and we looked at each other, but I was married and he was in a relationship and we didn't know what to do, and then we're bloody blah. It's like everyone loves a special story, so people listening will go, "Oh my God, what did you do? What did you do?" But the boring story of I went about dating in a very practical way.
yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, good for you. Anyway.
I do think that with movies like Twilight and 50 Shades, I think they're kind of like the same example, because I even think that 50 Shades, I think the writer was kind of influenced by the Twilight movies, I think. And it's kind of like the setup of the story is like there's this very normal kind of innocent girl, and then there's this like kind of like bad guy, and then the bad guy falls for the normal innocent girl. And I think that that's what a lot of people are attracted to, like a lot of women. They like that because it's like very romantic. But I also think that many women probably know it's kind of unrealistic, and we mostly just like it because it's like, yeah, we just like to fantasize about it and stuff. But I think that most women know it's kind of like over the top.
Yeah, you can't help. Yeah, women have that thing in them that they like something that's not good for them, and they just it's not hurting them, so they just want to be entertained by it. But in real life, when that situation is actually hurting you and making you feel unsafe, then you don't want it.
Well, if the woman is smart. Because some women like bad boys and then they're attracted to them.
Yeah, but they're not aware of it. They just like what they like, and they feel, if this feeling feels good, how can it be wrong? I'm fine. Nothing's happening to me yet. So leave me alone. Like, I'm not in danger. This could turn out to be something nice. This could turn out to be something good. And it's exciting. Again, boring isn't exciting. Boring doesn't make you attracted. Like, people... Yeah. Very few people get sick of going around the same dangerous, stupid roller coaster merry-go-round, and very few of them go, you know what? It's fun, but fun is like annoying me and I hate it now. I've done it so many times, I feel foolish. If I have to date boring, let me date boring. Let me take let me get off the roller coaster and date in a very old-fashioned way if I have to. But I know it's more sensible, and I'll get, if I really value having a companion, I don't want to fight. You know, you have to actually make the choice to do that. In the same way, dieting, exercise, socializing in a certain way, not losing your temper. You have to kind of say, yeah, I'm sick of always saying, well, that's just me. That's just what I do. I lose my temper. I go for bad boys, bad girls. And you really look foolish after a while using that as an excuse. Well, I can't control my emotions. I don't choose. I don't make choices. Choices are made for me by whatever. It's like, you're stupid then. You know, you can forgive someone who's young, but if you've dated a few times.
Yeah, but we are also talking about the thing from the outside as two different, as two people that are not the person who it's happening to. Because I was just thinking about like women who fall for bad boys. And it's like, objectively, yes, it's a bad idea, but I can imagine how hard it would be if you're like actually in love with the person. You know, like if you develop this like huge crush on this guy, but he's like a bad boy and you know it's not good. Like, that's hard. Like, I can't imagine that.
Yeah, but I think that's a problem women have more than guys. Because when it comes to reality and your world and safety and stress and stuff, that's a difference between a fetish and actual love or actual friendship, companionship, someone you can trust. So, you know, I can watch horror movies and enjoy horror movies, but I know there's a line between that and real life. I don't want horror in my real life. But especially women and some guys, they just get excited by a certain thing. And it's like, well, if I love horror movies, you know, wouldn't it be cool if I experienced it in real life? And I think women are like, I love watching them. Oh my God, it's just like the movies. I went out with a guy. I wonder if it's like a movie.
No, I get that it's not like, it's not love, but it's still hard to walk away from.
Sure.
You know, if I think about the crushes I've had in my past that were like completely overwhelming and there was no way I could walk away from it.
But I'll use your favorite saying. It's on you. It's your own fault.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. I'm not saying it's good or whatever. I'm just saying it's very easy sometimes to talk about a situation and how people should react when you're on the outside. But when it's actually you and it's happening to you, it can be like very difficult, even if you know it's wrong and, you know.
Hey, Peg. Yeah, we can't pop out I had some problems with the Streamlabs pop-up that usually I pop up like a text here. And I can't seem to do it because the font is all messed up, and I have to figure out, it's probably one of those things where there's an update in Windows or somewhere, and now it's screwed up all the settings. It's so dumb. I swear, the more we go forward in AI and technology, the more things screw up every time. There's an update every single day. Girls watching this probably won't understand this, but they might on their phones. When everything, like things update, it reverts and you have to go back in and change settings again whenever your phone updates.
I never have to change anything.
Well, sometimes it happens on phones, but on computers all the time. You set everything up with your audio, microphone, video, overlays, streaming and everything. And every time there's a Windows update, a graphics update, a YouTube update, everything just gets reset. And you have to go in manually and set everything up again. Anyway.
I noticed that YouTube changes sometimes just with the way it looks, but I don't have to change any settings or anything. It just changes a bit.
It changes a lot for other stuff in the back end when you're trying to create content. All right, what are some examples? Movies that, from my point of view, affected and ruined a lot of women's romantic expectations.
I know what you're going to say.
Sex and the City.
Yeah, that's why I put that in there.
Yeah, that because I experienced it with people I knew in my life, and they would always say, no, it's just entertainment. We know it's not real. We know it's not real. But then you see women trying to live that life and the career stuff. It just kind of bleeds in, and they find themselves my age and wondering what the hell happened. But they wanted to date that way. They wanted to date those guys. They wanted to have a gay best friend. They wanted to, date bad boys and like just money and riches in New York and just a kind of fun lifestyle. And they convinced themselves, I'm just entertaining myself with this. But the more time you spend loving Sex and the City, watching it, going out with your girlfriends to parties and bars and trying to be those group of girls somehow and talking about it all the time, it's going to affect you. People think that where you spend your time doesn't affect you. It doesn't matter if it's what you watch or hobbies or discussions you have or groups of people. It will affect who you are and how you talk and how you see the world. It's not just entertainment. Wherever you spend your time, it does imprint on you. And I find Sex and the City really warped women's views. Especially, I remember when it came out, my sister was really hooked on it. And I was like downloading episodes for her to watch because she couldn't, she wanted to catch up on episodes and things. And I kind of watched it as a social experiment. Then I actually got hooked, not on the thing, but on how stupid every episode was and the lessons. And it wasn't teaching women good things, because at the end of the show, there was always a moral lesson. Because when women say, oh, it's just entertainment, it's not true. There was always, like on a show, there's a moral lesson. When you watch those series where there's doctors like ER and all of that, stuff happens in real life that's drama, but how is this person going to deal with it? What's the moral outcome? What's the lesson? So there was always moral lessons in Sex and the City. And so when women say, oh, it's just all fun, it's just all entertainment, it's like, it's not, because there's always a moral lesson and you're learning about life and, oh, that happened. Oh, did you hear about what happened and stuff?
Yeah, but isn't it then that you shouldn't badmouth Sex and the City per se, but is it more so that women are just not taking that moral lesson in?
Well, then, do you not badmouth McDonald's for health?
No, I love McDonald's.
No, but for generally how it affects society. It's not McDonald's fault, but also Sex and the City wouldn't even be on TV if so many people didn't binge on it like McDonald's, like so many women. So it's not a problem in and of itself, but you have to realize how it affects people, like junk food, like porn affects men. You can say, oh, on its own, a movie, consenting adults filming people, what's the problem? But it's how people get addicted to it. Like alcohol is not a problem on its own, but how it affects people. So yeah.
So yeah, I really loved Sex and the City. It was I was in my early 20s when I was binging on it, and I remember I had the whole DVD collection, and I just kept watching it over and over again. I really enjoyed it. I have a kind of a different opinion on it than you do. I understand where you're coming from, but I think that's much less severe than you think it is. Also because I think the 4 women in Sex and the City, they were all very different, and I do think that that kind of showed like a balance. Like I know that Carrie was kind of just dating everyone, and it's actually a really interesting series because Carrie, I think she was actually a very selfish person if you watch the whole series. But anyway, but she was just dating, and that was just kind of fun to watch, I think. And the whole independence thing about the series is fun for women to watch. That's what I really liked about it because I was living on my own at that time. And then obviously Samantha is like over the top with all the sex stuff. But like
the friendship between women was probably attractive for women as
yeah,
well.
but and then the other girl, the shy one, what's her name again? The brunette, right? The shy one. I forgot her name. Charlotte. She was like very innocent and like proper. You know, she was just looking for a husband. And the other one was just like a workaholic. So I don't know. I think it was kind of very balanced by giving them all a different character. And it was just very entertaining for women to watch. I don't think... I can see why you think it was a bad influence on women, maybe a little bit, because it was like a lot of dating. But I don't think it's that bad as you think it is.
I'm not blaming the show. I'm blaming the lack of awareness most women have to how it affected them and how it steered a whole bunch of women in directions where they wasted time in their own lives and they got caught up in the fantasy of the show and they didn't see the line between reality and fantasy. You know, in the same way, I see nothing wrong with alcohol and a lot of stuff guys do, but when you become addicted or it affects your life and you go out and you get really drunk and you drive too fast, it is a problem, you know? So I just kind of see the effect it has. So the show on its own, if women could take it for what it was and they didn't really let it affect their dating lives or their perception of what they wanted or be career women or just keep dating around or, oh, look, there's Mr. Big, like a guy who treats me like crap, but he's like an alpha and I'll just put up with him and I keep going back to the bad guy. Yeah, it's nice to be aware of that, but how many times do you just keep watching people fuck up all the time? Maybe it's me as well. I could never watch Breaking Bad. As a guy, most guys love Breaking Bad. I can't watch it, and I gave it a chance. I watched 1.5 seasons, and all it is dumb guys fucking up addicts, and it's like I don't want to watch those people. I don't want to have anything to do with them. It's like, yeah, it's realistic. A lot of guys can be like that. They're addictive, obsessive, drama. It's like I don't want to live in that world. I don't want any part of that. Like, it's not entertaining to me. And some people can find it entertaining. Most guys do. I know I'm odd, but maybe I see a line much more than the average person. The average person can get carried away with it and just say, it's just fun. It's making me feel good. But yeah, it's silly what Samantha did, what Carrie did, whatever. You can actually, if you have a discussion, you'd be able to go, I find it entertaining, but yeah, she did the wrong thing. She shouldn't have done this. This was wrong. You can objectively. But most women, it's just they defend Sex and the City, even to the point of saying, well, don't you think Carrie did the wrong thing or she shouldn't be going out with that arsehole? You'd be like, yeah, like that's true. But most women will be like, don't badmouth something I love. I don't want to think about that. It's just entertainment. So it does affect women. Again, as you know, that's their entertainment. Guys have some dumb entertainment as well. I'm not saying they shouldn't watch it or you should ban it.
Yeah, I'm obviously a bit defensive because I really like the series, but maybe also because I'm a woman and I appreciate that series because of the whole independence thing. Like, I really enjoy that. That's what made me feel really good watching the series. Yeah, and I don't know how other women were influenced by that series, but yeah.
Mine is more the dating. We're talking today about the whole romantic cliches and stuff about dating. You're talking more about because I know with you loved seeing a girl with her friends and the loyalty. They'd always hang out every day at the coffee shop and they talked to each other and they had a strong bond and there were different kinds of girls and they weren't bitchy. Not a lot of girls have friendships. Like women are catty. You like the independence of like Carrie. She seemed like a normal person. She was a writer. They just had a nice life, right? But I'm talking about how they dated, the guys they picked.
I know,
the
but
serial kind of.
But you seem to have like this very sensitive. You're very on like Sex in the City. Well, I feel like there are so many movies where relationships are portrayed like not in a good way.
Oh, sure, yeah.
But I feel like for some reason, Sex in the City is like your number one like example.
I think because it's so overt, sex and the city. It's just like girls like sleeping around. If you watch the show, yeah, it's about relationships, but the title is like Sex in the City. It's like a clickbait. It was like before social media came around. It was like clickbait for reality TV. For TV shows. So Sex in the City, it's like a very provocative statement. It's about more than just sex and the city, but it is mainly focused on that. You know, it's not, So that's why probably, and it did have a big impact, and the girls kept fucking up with relationships and sex. And
yeah, but it's a drama series, so there's going to be a lot of drama and things going on to make it entertaining.
the danger with saying, but it's just entertainment, is that you keep drinking it in as entertainment, and it does kind of, you defend it because it's so, like you defend it, and that's fine, but you can defend it too much because you love it too much when you start talking about the morality of it. So if I say, okay, it was entertaining, I defend your right to be entertained. As a woman, you loved it, then all that. But then let's talk about some of the moral lessons and how these girls fucked up and how they're doing the wrong thing with dating, how they don't do this and that wrong. You have to also, when a guy or anyone wants to talk about the reality of it, like how should you date? What should she have done in that situation? You have to be honest about, well, yeah. Because let's face it also, if any of the girls really act proper, the show would be over. She would find a man and she wouldn't be dating. She would not be around her friends anymore. So to keep the four of them together, in reality, you have to keep fucking up and you have to stay single and you have to keep going out with bad boys and you have to, so the show can go on so we can all be, or girls can all be entertained. You know, so a guy comes like me, I'm like, they keep doing stuff that's not working in relationships. They're not doing best practices. And it's fine because it keeps the show going every week. It's good for entertainment. But if I'm looking at it as like what works, what's realistic, they keep doing unrealistic things that keep fucking up their chances of getting their goal of a relationship. So my male brain is like, fix it. Like, you want a relationship. Carrie's always typing like, why do relationships this every episode? Why do this? Like, she's trying to find a relationship. The other girls are trying to find happiness. They're always at the coffee shop trying to work these things out like a podcast without microphones. And they just go out and like, oh yeah, I'll just keep doing the same bullshit. I'll keep getting manipulated. And I'm like, oh no, don't do that. And I know it's drama, but I come from a point of view of like, that's unrealistic. Stop doing the wrong thing.
Yeah, I find it hard to respond to you because I don't know. I like the series and I feel like I keep wanting to defend it. And it's no different from any other movie or series that could influence people. Like, everything we watch influences us. And the makers of Sex and the City, they're just doing what sells. And I don't feel like it's on the series. I feel like if women are being influenced by that, that's just the way it is. Just like everything in life is just the way it is. Like, you know, I feel like if it's your sister or your girlfriend who's like watching the series and getting influenced by it, yeah, talk to her about it or something. But like, if women in the world are getting influenced by something, like, that's not our thing.
Yeah, but again, this is kind of like the ramifications, like that influence women and then later on influence their lives and society. You know, women just like, I don't want to think about the consequences long term. I just want to enjoy this now and I'll deal with it later, right? But then later comes one day and like guys can actually see how the chess game plays out for women in society. So there's a lot of generation of women that grew up with Sex in the City that are bitter old you know.
Yeah, but how do you even know that? Like, what do you base that on?
Well, I remember seeing an interview and reading the article of the interview where I think it was Candace Bushnell. She's the one that
Yeah.
wrote Sex and the City. She's old, and a lot of it's based on her life. Carrie was mainly her, and she did chase a guy who was unavailable, rich. He was basically big in a certain way, but he wasn't single. I think he was like taken, but he was like, she was having an affair or he didn't want to be with her. And she was saying to people after the show, to the women, she was trying to tell them the reality. She goes, it's based on me. I'm rich. I live that life and I don't have a man and I'm lonely and I'm miserable. And these girls are like, yeah, but Six and the City, like they don't want to think about where it might lead. Like they find it hard to, okay, it's entertainment here, but when I date, let me not let anything from Sex and the City, let me be a different person when I date.
Yeah, I know, but like, what should it never have aired, or because like it aired and people watched it and like we don't have control over how other people respond to it, so you know.
I think it's women don't want to be realistic about how it might affect them. So I'm not saying ban it, but I'm just saying women have a hard time with the lines get blurred. It affects them much more. They don't know where to draw the line between fantasy and reality and how it might have affected their lives.
Yeah, but I feel that's the same thing as with feminism. Like that's their thing.
True.
Like you get influenced by something and then you have to deal with the consequences.
But at the end of the day, this is why I say like women shouldn't have any say in like organizing society because they don't see the ramifications. Like if guys were really strict, they would regulate like things like porn and reality TV and things that would influence you from a young age to be a very, very selfish, not care about the future consequences as a person, because you start getting a worse society. You know, people are just like, oh, I just feel like we should watch whatever and don't worry about it. And like things start to get unraveled because people just want to enjoy the moment over and over and over again. And before they know it, they're 50. And they've been entertained and influenced by it so long. I'm not saying women shouldn't watch Sex and the City, but I'm just saying it does negatively affect them. And at the end of every show, I remember there was always a lesson. And the lesson was generally these cliches we're talking about today. To me, they were dumb. Like, you know, they kind of just ignored what they chose or what they did in that episode that was bad.
You know what I think the problem is that we're having? Like with all these movies and series, like I understand that there are things about it that's like unrealistic or like not a good example and stuff. And that's kind of what I'm focused on. And I think you're maybe more focused on how it affects people in reality and how they should deal with that.
Yeah, the long-term effects, like, you know how even online, people get lost in entertaining themselves in a little bubble, whether it's like feminism or the red pill space and stuff. Like they kind of, it's fun and we're having fun, or we're talking about serious issues, and like it's all, they get caught up in it and then they spend like their whole lives in that space, but they're not like learning any lessons to kind of socialize properly, like just be a normal human being and be fair when they're out dating and communicate properly and whatever. They just get caught up in the entertainment of it all. And they think, I'm not hurting anyone. I'm just having fun. I'm watching Sex and the City. I'm just online in this group of people talking about politics all the time. But it does affect you, and you waste years and years and years being affected by that thing. You can't see it for what it is. If you could see it just for entertainment, that's fine. It's your life, or any girl who watches it. But then later on, then they go, well, society needs to. No, it doesn't. You want to be able to like spend 30 years watching feminist entertainment, and then later on you don't know how to operate in the world and you want society to be fixed.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is too big of a topic because you can't be specific with this, because like, for example, if there's a movie and there are two people, like some of the examples that we wrote down, like they don't communicate well, or They're like always fighting, screaming, or stuff happens and they don't talk about it. That kind of stuff that's like obviously like frustrating, but it's like a specific thing that's obviously toxic that people should do better because else their relationship is not going to work out.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, I understand. It's very specific. That's like a specific toxic behavior. And like in that situation, I understand like talking about how people should deal with that because it's like very obvious. But I feel like with something like Sex in the City, that's like a whole series that people could just be watching for entertainment. They could be influenced by it in different ways. And it's like too big of a topic to like, I guess, be talking about how women should not be influenced by it, or like it's a bit vague, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah, I guess we've mentioned this a few times in other conversations where I always, as a guy, when we're talking about storylines or things, I always come in with like, hang on, that's unrealistic. Like I'm always trying to make life or a situation like, hang on, that doesn't work. That's unrealistic. They're acting stupid. I can't just be entertained by certain behavior. Whereas like sometimes girls can't, like you guys love watching drama and it's just enjoyable for you, but you don't want it in your own life. I don't see a difference a lot of times. That's why it kind of affects me. If I see bad behavior or unrealistic behavior in movies, it kind of bugs me. But when people act believable and realistic, I get lost in the story and then it's entertaining. But when someone it really kind of hits you how dumb they're behaving. Think about like in a horror movie. Both you and I agree. We're watching a horror movie and it's great. And then the girl just like does, like she hears a noise in the basement, a chainsaw. And it's like, hello? And she walks down there and you and I both, oh, well, die then. Like, it's, you know?
But that's a specific thing that we can discuss. And then it's obvious that the person should be doing something else because else they'll die, right? That's what I mean. Like, I understand like when there's a specific thing, but I feel like it's probably also because I am a woman and I really like that series and it was like a really fun time in my life. I have good memories of like watching the series and how it made me feel.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm just feeling kind of defensive, almost like you're kind of pointing the finger at women for how they should not be influenced by watching that series, when it's like a whole series with a bunch of different stuff going on and like you don't know how it impacts women.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you were to pick like a specific example in the series where a woman shows a type of behavior that's toxic, then that's something that I understand we can talk about.
Yeah, because you got to understand, I'm not talking to you. You like that stuff, but when I talk to you're reasonable on the topic. So I'm not attacking you, and I know you love the show, so you love it. But what you just said is true. If we talk about any scene in the show, you'll agree with me. Yeah, she's acting dumb, or they did the wrong thing. That's not the right choice.
I think what's bothering me is you using the whole of Sex and the City series in saying that it's a bad influence on women. I think that's what I'm kind of defending, because for me it wasn't a bad influence, and like you don't know how it influenced all women around the world. So I think that's what I'm kind of like pushing back. Whereas if you were to pick an example from the series, I know that there are millions of examples of toxic behavior in that series. I would respond better to that probably.
Well, that's probably what we're going to talk about. You're defending the whole series, right?
Yeah.
Let me just ask a question from the other side. You're saying, would you say that the series, in terms of like giving lessons and showing women, like, because they're watching it, right? They're being entertained. The show wouldn't continue with 4 single girls not always being there every week. You're catching up with those same 4 women, Carrie, blah, blah, whatever their names are, right? Every week. You love catching up with, they're like girlfriends to women. I heard women saying like, it's really nice to watch it. You catch up every week, right? Mm-hmm. If they all started acting the right way, the show would end very quickly, right? You wouldn't be catching up with them, right? So their behavior has to be dysfunctional. So you're getting close to these women on the show, not you, other women, right? You start forming a bond at your best friends that you catch up with every week on the series, making bad decisions, and you become part of that group of women who are just hanging out with the same women who are making bad decisions. Me as a guy, I don't like hanging out with people who are dumb. That's why I can't watch Breaking Bad, even Bad Friends or Bad Relationships. We can talking about like the cliches, the bad cliches is probably better. And I understand you love the show. There's shows that I love too, but if I'm going to say to you, do you think that that Sex in the City, like I'm not saying it shouldn't be made or should be censored or whatever, just to think about it. Do you think it helped women date better and have a better view of relationships and what choices? That's what I'm saying. Or did it have a more negative effect? Did it influence women unconsciously or whatever? Is it more of a negative, a net positive or a net negative when they watch it every week? It's so addictive and consuming. It's fun. I can understand the characters are really written well, the lifestyle. Do you think it has a negative influence on women unconsciously or positive influence?
I don't know if it had a negative influence, but I wouldn't say it had a positive influence.
So it wouldn't. You agree it wouldn't have a positive influence on women, objectively speaking. All the lessons and the fuck ups and continually going back to Mr. Big and whatever the older one in the series. She was just like sleeping around everywhere. She didn't give a shit.
I think I'm just the wrong person to talk about with this because it didn't have a negative influence on me where I wanted to go out and date and like have sex with a bunch of people.
Take yourself out of the equation though. It's the same with porn, right? If like guys like it, I would not want it taken away for the things I like and how I can watch it without being affected. But if you were to say, Bobby, for society, the influence it has on general men out there, do you think it has a positive effect or a negative effect on men in society? I would say, yeah, negative effect it would have. So I can defend it personally, so you can defend it personally. You don't know like how it affects every single individual woman. I'm just asking generally. That's all.
I think it's hard because it's like when something that you like and you have good memories about is being like criticized like that, it's like, you know, like me shitting on like Rambo or something that you really like. And like, oh, all this toxic masculinity and has a bad influence on men. You know, like, it's kind of like that. Like, it's not, like, I know that there's some truth to what you're saying, but I think I am more focused on my experience with it. And I think that I think for a lot of women, it made their lives more fun because they felt like, I want to go out with my friends and have fun, and I want to like have a fun dating life and stuff. And then sure, there are also women who it had a bad influence on maybe, but I think I see it more as like a mixed thing.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. The line between, because you would agree women are led by their emotions more. They're not making rational decisions, okay? Would you agree? Women tend to be more emotionally led.
Yeah.
Okay? Everything you said, like even if you're influenced to the degree of, well, I watch the show and I want to have that kind of relationship with girlfriends and I want to have a fun life in the city and date and stuff. You don't really focus on the screw-ups they're having, okay? So you would agree that like you're still being influenced by watching them because you want to have a little bit of their life. You want to have the girlfriends, you want to have the fun, the independence and whatever. So you're still influenced, okay? Yeah?
Yeah, but I don't see anything wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with that, okay? So that is positive, but you're still being influenced. When guys watch Rambo, we don't want to kill anyone. We don't want to go out into the jungle. We don't want to shoot guns. There's nothing about it. There's like a hard line. That's an entertaining movie, and it has absolutely no connection to my life outside. There's nothing I want to do from Rambo out in the world. I don't even want to punch anyone. It's just fun and stupid and entertaining. Okay? But that's what I'm saying. There is an influence that even women, because they're emotionally led, they just do stuff that they feel in the moment. And then later on, it's like, oh, it wasn't my fault. Yeah, but you were influenced and you made the choice and you this is the entertainment you're watching and you have to notice where it might be affecting you. I'm not saying get rid of the show. I believe in freedom of speech, freedom of entertainment and stuff, but just recognize how it's affecting the people en masse and then how society gets affected. The more and more women who don't think about this, that are more bitches and narcissists and whatever.
So you think that's worse than Twilight or 50 Shades, I'm guessing?
Yeah, only because it was more realistic. Whereas with Twilight and 50 Shades, it's a bit more, a lot more fantasy.
Yeah.
So I think women can maybe defend Twilight and 50 Shades more. Sex and the City was like a drama. So dramas are much more realistic. I like dramas and thrillers and stuff because it's everyday situations with like a really tense scenario, and like, how would a human being get out of this? Like, what would you do if you were in this situation? You know, how many times when we watch dramas and thrillers and stuff, it's like, oh, babe, what would you do in this situation? Like, it's immediately, like, I don't say that in Star Wars. Like, babe, what would you do if you don't connect reality to it?
Sometimes I feel like it really clash. Like, men and women just really clash. Because, like, with Sex and the City and women wanting to be, like, independent and have fun and stuff, yeah, that's fun. And that's, like, something only a woman would understand, like, how fun that is. But then I understand also at the same time that it can be bad. It can be a bad influence when you think about relationships and stuff. But then it's almost like those two things clash with each other, but they both seem natural.
Yeah.
So it's like, it makes it very tricky.
Yeah, but sometimes something that feels good and you want it, you have to also, like, a guy thinks this way, like, I want it, but then there are consequences to it. What are the negative consequences of just going with my feelings? You have to kind of think of that. What will I lose? How will it take me down a road that I can't come back from?
Yeah, but that's why I think it's like, it's up to the woman how she is influenced by it. Like, I was only influenced by it in like a positive way and only to a certain degree, but it didn't make me go crazy or anything. So I think it's kind of like up to every woman how she lets herself be influenced by something that she sees.
Sure, but that's what I'm saying in general, how it influenced women, not you. You're an outlier. You feel guilt. You feel shame. You feel bad when you do the wrong thing. You know, feeling guilt and saying sorry and admitting those things. Those, like, a lot of women avoid that like the plague. You're kind of very rare that you don't have that in you. I don't know why, but that's also why we're together. If you had that stuff that women that avoid and like, oh no, not my fault, and you know, it's
yeah. So I think I agree with some of what you say, but I think what's mostly happening here is that I'm just I'm feeling defensive of the series because I've had a really fun experience with it in my early 20s. Yeah. Wow, there was like a whole stream about Sex in the City.
Well, it was, I think for me especially, it was, if anyone asked me which was the main movie or series that I think really influenced women in ways that kind of took their life in a direction that was very, very unrealistic. Like the whole career, city, perpetual dating, no responsibility, just all feelings. It's kind of like, yeah, that's the kind of thing that.
Okay, let's move on. I'm tired of feeling defensive.
I'm surprised that you haven't rewatched it since we've been together.
Yeah, I haven't thought of it. Maybe because I watched it like so many times in my early 20s. But I think also because now I'm less attracted to it because like I don't live that lifestyle anymore. I don't live on my own. I'm not independent anymore. I'm married, so I have a different lifestyle. So it wouldn't like fit if I watched it now.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm trying to think, like, would I be as defensive with like stuff that I like say Star Wars, growing up with that, or any of the other movies like Rambo or the Arnold movies, and you really didn't like them. But I think you would give me an answer like why you didn't like it, like the all the killing or something, or the violence or whatever it is. And then I would go, oh, okay, I get that. I kind of understand. But I feel like women defend like a lot and excuse a lot of the bad stuff. They can't say, yeah, I get why you don't like it, but women try and sometimes excuse that. It's like,
yeah, I think what I'm defending is the series itself
as a whole.
Yeah, because I always believe that like we don't have any control over how people deal with stuff or how people are influenced by stuff, and I'd never like it when the thing is being blamed, while the individual people that like don't know how to deal with something, that's their thing. Like it's on them, you know. But I don't like the thing itself being blamed. That's what I'm defending, I guess.
Yeah, but I think that's very much a female thing. You're saying I like the thing, and I have no control over the consequences. Women don't like responsibility, because if
no, not me.
No, not you. Again, generally, most women they can just live in the moment and go by their feelings. And if their world turns to shit, they can just find another man.
No, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying when I watch that series, I know that I am responsible for how I am influenced by stuff, right? And I'm saying the blame shouldn't be on Sex in the City. It's on the women for like controlling how they are influenced by something and controlling their behavior and what they do.
Yep. Yeah. And I'm saying most women, again, not you, most women, can we agree, are the way they generally are. And they don't tend to say, okay, this is entertainment, but this is the way I'm going to behave in dating.
Yeah, sure, but I'm saying that's their thing.
Yeah.
But it's not Sex in the City. That's just a fun series.
No, I know, but you sort of have to call out the influence. I told you about like McDonald's. There's nothing wrong with McDonald's. I don't want them to shut down McDonald's or anything. Yeah. But you have to understand like the way the world is. Everyone's weak and a victim and everything. Fast food or social media. I love social media. I'm not saying get rid of it, but you have to understand the effect it has on the average dipshit out there. The average person that can't control their emotions and they're very childish and they're led and they're influenced and stuff and they love it. I'm just talking about that. I'm not talking about your right. Like the more responsible you are, like watch and consume anything you want because you're in very much control of your life and you can see that's entertainment. This is real life. This is my diet. This is my sleep. This is...
No, I get that. But if you start going down that rabbit hole, then we can talk about so many things in the world that aren't good for people and where you don't put the people first. That's with like a billion things in the world.
Yeah, but that's all I'm focusing on. That influence some of these movies, the little whispers that it affects people and they just kind of like their life gets sunk. You know, you're saying it's on them. But like there's a world of people that it's on them and they're just silly and the society's getting worse and worse. You can say, well, I make good decisions, but let's...
No, I understand that it's also a little bit on Sex in the City. It's also a little bit on McDonald's and all that stuff. But that's the way the world is. And if we're gonna start that conversation, then you can say that about like almost everything in the world. That's what I'm kind of saying.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's the effect on general people. Again, you put it back to you. You like Sex in the City. You know how to date. You have it didn't affect you in negative ways where you started dating like they did. You know, you're defending it very personally. Like, again, you automatically put yourself in the situation. I'm talking generally.
Yeah.
Like how it affects the average women out there. In general, there's a negative, it tends to affect women generally.
Yeah.
I'm not attacking the series. I'm saying how the series affects a lot of women.
I'm hot.
Yeah, I know it's getting warm. Yesterday it was 41 degrees here in Melbourne. Yeah. Very windy.
Okay, let's move on. Enough Sex in the City.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, The Bachelor.
Enough of that garbage show.
Hey.
Oh, now I'm just gonna shit on every show you.
No. Oh my God, if you shit on The Bachelor.
Yeah.
I love The Bachelor. But I agree that there's obviously a lot of toxic behavior on The Bachelor. There's a lot of unrealistic stuff. There's a lot of things that I don't understand. Like, I don't understand how there are always on every show. There are so many people that like The Bachelor or that fall in love with The Bachelor. Like,
yeah.
Because I feel like it's so hard to fall in love with someone. And like on every show, there are multiple people who like want to marry this guy or this girl. I don't understand that.
Well, this is the problem with all the criticisms I'll have on the various things is the drama of them doing the wrong thing and you wouldn't act like that and all these people, how can they be in love with the same guy? And like all of it sticks out to me. And I kind of can't jump in that pool with them and enjoy it for a long period of time like girls might. Like Sex in the City, if I was hanging out with a bunch of guys, say, let's make it a guy thing, a bunch of guys that just like are sleeping around, getting drunk, driving fast, taking whatever, and they're all constantly, their life is a mess, even if they live in the city, like rich, spoiled kid. Here's an example. You know that show Entourage? Anyway, there was a show Entourage. Rich guys living in Hollywood, movie shit, celebrities, these guys going from parties to parties. That was really popular with guys. I hated it because I'm like, I don't want to hang around with those guys. They're a bunch of retards. They're like doing drugs, sleeping with bimbos and stuff. It's kind of like for 5 seconds, like as a clip, it's entertaining, but I don't want to hang out with them. I don't want to hang out with the guys in Breaking Bad. And so when I see the girls in Sex and the City, I'm placing myself, I'm trying to empathize as a girl. Okay, the drama and the characters are good and the scenery of New York's nice and everything and the situations are interesting, but I don't want to hang around with them. They keep making, that's where my reaction comes from, you know?
Yeah, you're so serious about it. Like, it's just a fun series.
Okay.
Lighten up.
All right, go. Next.
Okay, I have a question for you. So, you know how women have, like, we like movies and series with, like, storylines that are, like, a bit unrealistic sometimes in terms of romance. Like, a good example is Twilight or 50 Shades, right?
Yep.
Do you feel like guys have a storyline that they really like that they also know is a little bit unrealistic?
Yeah, the cheesy action movies that many of me and my friends and everyone, we like war movies. I mean, they have a historical thing. See, guys like those historical war movies, they've got a basis in history. It actually happened, and it's action, and it's like being heroic, doing the right thing, sacrificing for. It's like very, very noble stuff. But yeah, like to what your question is, I would say things like Rambo and the Van Damme and the action movies of the 80s and a lot of action movies that guys watch.
What about romantic storylines?
That guys would appreciate?
Yeah.
They're either very realistic, because guys don't really go for, but if there is romance in a movie, we appreciate the romantic aspect when it's realistic. Yeah. There are some romantic dramas that I like, but because they're actually portrayed realistically. But the more unrealistic they are, I roll my eyes and I get annoyed. And like I'm like fidgety. I want to switch it off, you know? Like a lot of those ones made for women where the woman's just had a train wreck of a life and now she's 50 and now she just finds love with a hot 30-year-old. Or something like, you know, the Jennifer Lopez movies, those kind of romantic comedy things where, yeah, it's that stuff is annoying. But in terms of your question, yeah, guys have those.
We should probably look at the chat because we haven't looked at the chat at all.
Oh yeah, if you want to ask a question, just so we see it's a question during the stream, add 3 emojis like this. Like 3 smiley faces before your question, so we can go through the stream and see that you've asked us something and we can maybe answer it. Can you see anything, babe?
I'm just reading.
Rambo is romance. Yeah, there is a romantic part in Rambo 2 for about 5 minutes and then she gets killed. But I think, I know with me, when it's very unrealistic and it pulls me out of the movie, that's where I have something to say about it. But the more realistic it is, I get lost in the movie. It doesn't matter if it's a romance, a tense moment, stress, drama, or whatever.
Responsibility prevents me from being happy.
But anyway, what are some other
I won
things?
the best reality TV show. It was called The Human. Steph ain't no cliche.
Any show that feeds into black and white stereotypes of men and women is ridiculous to a rational human being. Sometimes the black and white stereotypes, I think it is stupid when people have black and white views, but also we should also make shows more lean towards black and white in the sense of right versus wrong behavior. So not making like a perfect man or a perfect woman, but them wanting to be better, wanting to do the right thing more. When, you know, a show, I know you like this. We watched a show recently where a guy was being tempted, like he's married, and he was a girl was flirting with him, and he didn't cheat. And you said in the movie, I really liked that he didn't cheat on his wife. Like he recognized it was flirting, and he pushed the girl away, saying, "I was married." You know, that stuff. That's really nice to see. But again, these shows that I criticize about how they influence women is people cheat, and it's like, oh, it just happened, and that's life. And oh my God, and then there's drama. Can we get back together? I betrayed my husband. I cheated on my boyfriend. Like, oh, I got drunk. All that stuff. And my reaction is like, well, that's on you. You screwed up. I don't care. Like, I have no respect for you. I don't want to look at you. I don't want to hang around with you in the series anymore. Like, that's me. So yeah, like get moral lessons, but not like, well, you know, shit happens. It's like, no. You fucked up. Let's be honest about it. Admit you did something wrong. Admit you should have chosen the other thing instead of this. Oh, can we not talk about it? Can we move on? And that's the thing about these shows that I criticize. That, like, okay, we can move on, but admit what was right and what was wrong if you should have made a better choice. And then we can move on. But they don't want to admit that.
Well, I'm never watching Sex and the City with you, ever, in my life.
Yep, I will always be screaming at the TV.
Yeah. Because we both do it with The Bachelor. Like, that's true.
I come in from time to time because I'm walking past or from the kitchen, I can hear something. And it's like something really vague or ridiculous when I'm thinking like, oh, come on.
Yeah, but I think the difference is that I also recognize that some things are kind of dumb or unrealistic, but I feel like I'm way more lighthearted about it. I'm just like, this is a fun reality TV show. It's entertaining to me. And like, you don't do this with The Bachelor. You're not like super serious about it. But I feel like with Sex and the City, you were just like a scientist, like super serious about it.
I like some bits.
Yeah, but with The Bachelor, it's just fun. Like, I think because I don't let myself get influenced by dumb things to then like fuck up my life.
You know, again, I watched bits and pieces as I was like downloading these episodes for my sister, right? All of them are just a blur of them fucking up and forgetting about it, never blaming themselves. There's only one moment in that entire series that I think everyone will agree on me was the best moment, and was when someone checked one of the girls in a big way, how they fucked up and stopped doing that. That was the only moment I enjoyed the series. Everything else was just excruciating, watching women just absolving themselves of responsibility, not feeling guilty.
Oh, I think there were many moments like that where the girls checked each other.
Very lightly. Most of it was like a little bit of an argument, life goes on. But I'll tell you my moment. Tell me when there was a really big bombshell moment when one of the girls really got checked for how they're behaving.
Well, there are several. One big one, I think, was when Carrie wanted to move to like a different country, can't remember where, with this Russian guy or whatever. I think to Paris. And then Miranda, she kind of told her that she thought it was a stupid idea. That was one that I can think of.
Okay, that's good. I like that. That's a great moment. Friend giving good advice. Okay.
Yeah, but there are more moments like that.
My favorite one was what was that? The Carrie went out with a really good guy, right? Was it Evan or something? Aiden. Yeah. Right? And she really screwed him over. She cheated on him or whatever. She went back to the bad boy or whatever it was, right? And she really wrecked him, right? And he was really wrecked after that. Then like some series later, she bumps into him and they went out, like he was just friendly with her. They went out for a coffee and then she wanted to go up to his apartment And he was like, no, like we're never getting back together. And she was like shocked, and she wanted another chance because she felt guilty. And then he really let her have it, and see, she's going, why? He goes, because you broke my heart.
Yeah.
Like she really, like that was like a bombshell. I was going, yes. Like that's what you need to be checked in this movie. Not like, oh, well, I had a one night stand, woke up. Like, you know, every weekend I'm waking up in some stranger's bed and like, oh, well, life goes on, you know. It's like that's the first time she really got checked in a big way, the main character of the series. And that was a good moment in terms of reality.
Yeah.
But in terms of everything else, like, oh, I got pregnant, had an abortion, you know what, life goes on, don't worry.
Yeah, but that's why I think I have a more balanced view of the series, because I think, and I've watched the whole series many times, I think that there were a lot of those moments in that series where the girls checked each other and where there were lessons. And, you know, like it's not just the fun side of dating. They also really showed like bad results and bad consequences.
Because I didn't really watch it in depth and I just watched it quickly all the way through. Episode to episode and bits and pieces. Or if it was a boring episode, I skipped it. But I watched the whole thing, but probably not as deeply and multiple times as you. So maybe if I watched it again, I don't know. But maybe also back then, because I watched it, how long ago was it? Like 15 years ago or something? Longer,
yeah, a long time ago.
20 years ago. I was probably a lot more annoyed at women and relationships and how things were going. And I just zeroed in on like every dumb way women were behaving. And so if like there were a lot of good moments of advice where one of the girlfriends would have a conversation with the girl about to make the wrong decision. At least she gave her advice, but I can't remember those.
Oh my god, no one wants to watch the guy that doesn't cheat on his wife. He's a simp. What a low-value male not taking advantage of the opportunity. He needs the re-education in spinning plates and rotations. I hope that is sarcasm, that's a joke.
It is.
Is that a joke?
It is sarcastic.
Okay, oh my god.
He's making a joke. You autistic Dutch woman.
Yeah, I don't know. How do I know it's a joke?
She's very literal.
Yeah, I guess.
No, but a lot of the dude bros online, it's like, oh, you got to spin plates. If you got multiple women, you'll never be hurt because even if one of them breaks your heart, they never broke your heart because you never gave it to them, and you got a lot of women on rotation and you got a lot of money. No,
I really like that part in the movie. What was the movie called again? That was that.
Which movie?
That happened in. It was that courtroom movie where he was trying to defend that black girl that got almost killed by those guys.
Oh, A Time to Kill.
Yeah, A Time to Kill. I like the way they showed it because you could see, because he was working with this other girl, with this other woman who was not his wife.
Yeah, Sandra Bullock.
And you could see, that he was like a little bit tempted sometimes, but he didn't like do anything. And I think that's really good because that shows like reality. Because like people get tempted sometimes, but like you don't do it. So I think that was good.
Yeah, and he said something about it. I think there were like that movie's actually really written well. There's not a lot of extensive dialogue, but when they say stuff, they tell you exactly what's going on. Like there was a moment where I think you could tell it was like a vulnerable moment and they were alone at the office together.
Yeah.
And she said, do you want me to stay? And he goes, yeah, so you should leave. You know, it was like really nice writing. It lets you know what's going on. And it, like he's voicing as well, like, I know what's going on here, but nothing's going to happen because I'm married. Rather than not saying anything, is like saying, well, you know, vibes, let's see what happens. I'm not responsible. If we get close and something happens, I didn't say anything. The universe just made us kiss.
I don't know. I think people are responsible for how they react to things. And like, we don't have control over what people do. And we all only live once. So like, I don't know. I just focus on my own life.
Yeah, but you got to have responsibility. I don't think you look foolish if you just go on, you only live once, so I'm just doing what I'm doing. Like a lot of OnlyFans girls are like
That's
this,
not
right?
what I was saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying I only live once. I'm going to focus on my life and me being responsible. I don't have control over what other people do.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's
what
true.
I mean.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I also know that most people would rather push responsibility onto society, onto their parents, onto their partner. Like it's never their fault. They were just feelings. I didn't say anything. Yeah, you were avoidant. You didn't say what you meant. You knew what you felt. And they just like the most of the world is irresponsible, avoidant people that pretend they didn't know what was happening. So given that the majority of people are avoidant.
Yeah, but that's probably why the world is so fucked up.
Yeah, but we live in it. We're always bumping up against them.
Yeah, but that's their life.
Yeah, but we have to bump into them at the supermarket. We're in the street. Like we're just getting more and more of the.
Yeah, but we're not getting any.
We're not contributing to it. Yeah.
No. I mean, when we bump into people, we're not seeing anything that's going on in their lives.
No, but we see it when you go to the beach and the parents aren't communicating, or they're screaming at each other, or their kids are screaming. Like that net effect, it adds up. We have to hear them at cafes.
I know, I don't have time to think about other people.
This is why women should not build societies. They don't care about the long game. They care about this now.
My God, don't start pointing the finger at me.
No. But most women, they just want to enjoy their lives. At the most, like you want to be responsible for your life, right?
Yeah, but because I'm not a god and I don't have power over the whole world. If I did, I would reorganize the whole world.
Yeah. But guys want to protect, have power, and organize the world. We want to, and we're good at it. Women aren't good at it.
Sure, I agree. But don't put me in the same basket.
I'm not. See, again, you make it. It's not about you.
I'm so hot. My pants.
Oh yeah, you.
Should I just take it off? They can't
take
see
it off.
Anyway. It's hot. Ugh.
Everyone's going to be fantasizing now. Go. Strip.
Yeah, they can't see it anyway. I'm so hot. I'm wearing leggings and it's super hot.
All right, I'm getting a show.
Nothing you haven't seen before.
All right, what else?
I think we should start going to those because those are fun. The frustrating storylines.
Let's actually talk about the cliches. Sorry, I'm just kind of ragging on entire shows.
You're dissing all the shows I love.
Yeah, but those shows, I just remember they just had a truckload of cliches that I don't give a shit about, that are just dumb, and I don't want to hang around those people that keep
You don't have to.
Recycling those dumb cliches. Anyway.
People that hate each other and then realize they love each other. We see this often in movies.
The upside down, back to front logic.
Yeah. This has never happened to me. And I don't understand it. But I'm very straightforward. If I like someone, I like someone. And then I pursue them. And then I either get them or I don't. And that's it.
Yeah, I've never understood that backward logic. But I think people get sold the backwards logic because most people aren't direct. They don't communicate exactly who they are and what they want in relationships. They put on any mask to get the other person. And so it makes sense to them that you can hate someone and then love them. In the same way, you can just a relationship just happens. It's all magic. It's not magic. So to them, relationships just happen by magic. No one talks and they either work or they don't work. In the same way, yeah, it's magic too. You could think you hate someone, then you're in love with them too. It just happens. I can't explain it. That's what love is, magic.
I remember we talked about this a little while ago. The only way I can kind of understand this is if, for example, you have a coworker or a boss that's very, very confident, kind of arrogant, but he's also really attractive. And you are kind of attracted to his leadership qualities, his his dominance. But at the same time, he's kind of an asshole. So you're attracted to him, but at the same time, you kind of don't like his character. From that perspective, I can understand it. And then you're oh, I don't like him, but he's so attractive. But that might be a little bit more subconscious. And then over time, maybe you get to know him more and then it turns into liking him more or something.
Yeah, but that's only if you're paying attention to wanting to see if he's got a good personality. If it's just a show, or if he's just arrogant or too confident, or he's just got a temper. But again, that's only if you're aware of it.
Yeah, but I think also someone can be kind of arrogant, but if you're very attracted to him, then you might still kind of like him, even though you also don't like him. If you know what I mean.
No.
Because then
you can not like a certain part of a behavior. You can overall like a person for their core values, but then they have a character trait that's like, I wish it wasn't there, but it's you accept it. But
nah, it's not that black and white with women. Like, if there's a guy and he's kind of arrogant, but you're very attracted to him, then I think women can still like him. They wouldn't necessarily like tell him that, but then what might kick in with women is that I want what I can't have. And then because he is like probably not showing any interest in you, you start to like want him because he's so dominant, and that might attract you, and then you feel like you want what you can't have. Like, it's kind of this complex thing with women. I can understand it from that perspective, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, this is why men get frustrated with women. The back to front yes means no. Men need to communicate, but women won't communicate. Another cliche is when you fight, you should, like, the guys are generally the first ones to apologize, regardless of who was at fault. You never see the woman.
Yeah, but because it's more complex, because women are not just attracted to like a nice character, we're also very attracted to looks. We're also very attracted to like a leadership position or like dominance.
Looks aren't at the top though for you. You're attracted to looks as a woman, but looks aren't the right at the top. Like you like to feel safe. You like the person being confident. There's a lot of other things. Yeah, you like them being attractive as a bonus, but it's not the most important thing.
Yeah, but that's for relationships. But for having a crush on someone, that's more looks.
Oh, they're instantaneous, like primitive attraction, kind of like you notice someone, you just like them.
Yeah, and that person can still be like not a nice person. Because I had that with my first crush when I was like 15 or something. Like this guy, well, he didn't really do anything, but I really liked him. I had a huge crush on him. And like as soon as he started noticing I had a crush on him, he kind of let me know that he didn't like that. He didn't like me looking at him, but I'm obsessive, so like that's a different story. But even though I knew he didn't like me and he wasn't like very nice to me, that didn't change anything for me. So I think because I had that experience, that's why I can kind of understand it.
Okay, what's another Hollywood cliche for romantic movies?
Okay, they can't be together for some reason and just accept it or don't tell each other how they feel. Yeah, this I don't understand because I feel like you're just wasting time.
Mm-hmm.
But also because I don't have any problem telling someone that I like them, like boy or girl. I don't have a problem with that, even if I can get rejected, you know? I'm talking relationship or friendship.
You know which a cliche, and it's not necessarily a romantic one, but it happens a lot in romantic movies, is when someone wants to be honest, they're about to like, I'm going to tell them. And it could be not just romantic, but generally romantic. Like, I'm going to come clean, I'm going to tell them, right? And they make the decision, they go up like, I got to tell you something. And the other person, before you say that, let me just tell you, you're the best person, and I can't wait to spend our life together, and blah, 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 blah. Now, what were you going to say? And the guy's like, oh, nothing.
That's a good one. That's not on the list, but that's a really good one, actually.
I can't stand that shit.
Yeah. People keeping things from each other that they should be sharing, stuff like that. Yeah. But what I was just talking about, I do feel like sometimes in movies it can be very romantic. I'm thinking of Pride and Prejudice, for example. Like they like each other for the longest time and they don't tell each other. But in that movie, it makes sense. It's like very romantic. So sometimes it does work in movies, I think.
Yeah, maybe also that longing, unrequited love, the longing. Women like it because generally women don't ask men out. So they're always waiting. Like that kind of like, I hope it happens. Why? Like it's like whereas guys have to actually ask women out and do something. They have to make contact. And that longing, the kind of being quiet and liking someone and then not liking you back, that distance, that lack of connection, women are more familiar with it, or they want it, or they desire it, or they find it more entertaining romantically. But guys, it's kind of like, if we don't make contact, nothing happens. Like we have to do something. We have to make contact with the world, with a woman, and say something and say hello or whatever. So maybe also with us, that unrequited love is kind of like nothing. Because it's like, well, I like this girl and she doesn't know. And every guy will be like, just tell her. Well, did you say anything? Like, just why didn't you tell her something? Whereas with women, it's like, I really like the guy. He never notices me. Yeah, I know. Like maybe wear this dress and maybe he'll notice you. It's always indirect with women. And I think they have that frustration, and that frustration plays itself out into unrequited love, or we can't be together, and like anything but being direct.
Yeah, that's not unrequited though, because it can't be unrequited unless you've actually told the person, because that means he doesn't love you back.
What? Yeah, he's actually communicated that, like, no, I don't feel the same way as you. I think a lot of these romantic cliches are mainly avoidant. I think they're all avoidant, or like the vast majority of them that frustrate you and me are avoidant. There was a thing. Aldo says, I've learnt our avoidance comes largely from living in moments outside of the one we are in. It is almost involuntary in this way. We have to go deep and fix underlying issues to change it. Yeah, like you're avoiding an issue that you think will happen, like they'll blow up, they'll leave you if you're honest, they won't like you. So we're always avoiding a situation that we're fantasizing will happen.
I feel like Armored Ghost is talking to me here.
Which one?
Romantic cliches, complaining it's hot and taking off your clothes. Is that directed at me?
Women.
Yeah.
Karu says he's right. Not caring about what other people's lives are like and what they do is what leads to you personally having to deal with the consequences of their decisions. Yeah. You can't just let everyone just, yeah, you can say, well, it's their responsibility. But if everyone's an alcoholic, you get alcoholics outside your door making your society bad. And
yeah, okay, if you look at it, yeah.
Like, you can make your own life really good.
I don't know. It's just like I'm living my life. Like, let me live my life. I don't want to also worry about what other people do. I don't have control over them.
I get it. Me too. I want to live my life and not be told how to live it. But also I have to recognize when other people are living dumb. It's like in the street, right? I put my trash in the bin. I seal it properly. I don't want to make a mess. But we've got other people around here who just leave their bags outside the bin and the birds rip it apart and they cause messes on the street. Idiots. And I can say, well, at least I'm doing the civilized right thing, but they're not doing it. But then there's rubbish all over the street.
Yeah, but that influences you more. But I feel like how other people are in relationships, like, that's their business. Like, I'm not going to worry about if you cheated on your girlfriend or not.
Yeah, but it would be a better world if people didn't cheat on their girlfriends.
Yeah, but that's not what I said.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, but why do I need to worry about how other people are in their relationships? Like, I'm only responsible for, like, how we are in our marriage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but wouldn't you agree it would be nicer if people were more responsible and nicer?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another cliche. A person falls in love with another person while still in a relationship, and this is somehow just swept under the rug. The movie is seen as romantic. That's also kind of like they probably see it as unrequited love. Like, I can't have it, and I'm already married. Again, wanting what you can't have. You know, you said women love that wanting what you can't have thing. So you're married and you want something else now, but you can't have it.
Yeah, I think it's always portrayed. Usually it's portrayed as like she's the main character and then she's got a boyfriend or a husband and he's like either mean or he neglects her or he's all about his career. So it puts her in like a good spotlight.
Yeah, like
in a good position.
She doesn't have a great husband, so it makes the cheating more permissible.
Exactly. And then the other guy is like exactly what she
He's a nice guy. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're ignoring that she's like not being faithful. Like she should break up first and then go do what she wants to do.
Yeah, try and get the audience on your side. That kind of drama, like make the guy some sweaty, fat, angry person that just slaps her because she didn't cook the chicken properly, and he just like abuses her like a dog. And she's like, "I'm sorry, I just want to make you happy," and just make her super nice and make him super terrible. And then you get this guy that's comes into her life and just wants to love her.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, fuck that, the arsehole you're married to. Like, who wouldn't want to be with this other guy? It's like, yeah, they're just kind of making cliches. That also, like, how many people do you know that are in relationships like that? That's like an extreme. Another cliche is couples don't talk they don't talk things out. They refuse to talk about small things, and so it blows up into something big. I hate this as well, when someone says, I can explain, and they don't want to hear anything after that.
Yeah.
When someone says, I can explain, I just want someone to go, okay, explain it to me.
Yeah.
But they never do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's frustrating. Yeah, partners keeping things from each other.
But somehow it's to protect the other person.
Yeah. That would really piss me off.
They do that in cheating too. You cheat, why didn't you? You were cheating. I didn't want to hurt you.
Yeah, but that's not really, even if he says that, that's not really about that. That's just like, you don't want to be found out for cheating.
Partners say awful things to each other or treat each other horribly, and yet this is accepted and they continue the relationship.
You know what made me think of that? I was just thinking about how often in movies do you see partners like just talking to each other or even fighting, and the things they say to each other sometimes, it's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah. She notices it. Me as well, but it's like really ridiculous.
And then they just go on in their relationship like nothing happened, and I'm like,
I hate it when they do it away from their partners, like when the girls get together and they bitch about their husbands or boyfriends. But also, I'm seeing it more and more in movies where they do it in front of their partners. Like they're somewhere and he says something and she's like, no, be quiet, like shut up, like you're being an idiot. Or they kind of really embarrass them in front of other people. And the other person just kind of shuts up about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and like it's normal to them, to both of them, the way they communicate with each other. It's really bad.
Partners try to physically hold or restrain the other person while they are angry or freaking out.
That's me. That's because of my reaction to whenever I see that in movies, someone's like freaking out, like this girl, she's freaking out about something, and the guy, he goes, don't worry, it's gonna be okay. And I'm like, get the fuck off of me, you know?
Yeah,
like,
but that's the face
God.
though. But say you're like hysterical, you're shaking. If I held you here, it wouldn't be as bad. But I think this to you is like...
That's the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
But you may have noticed this. Sometimes when I'm like really like explaining or I'm into something, and then you come towards me and I go backwards a little because I'm explaining. Remember?
Yeah, when you're in a very focused state.
Yeah.
You want space around you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then you're like distracting me and I'm like, focus.
You know what I thought about in this saying, that partners physically restraining the other person? You know what I also don't like in romantic movies, again, focusing on romantic movies, is that the person's talking and mid-sentence he just kisses her. And that's so dumb. Yeah. To me, it's like the person's talking about something and mid-sentence they kiss them. Or out of nowhere, they didn't even know the person liked them and it's just like bang, a kiss.
Yeah. That's weird.
Family and friends meddle in each other's lives trying to look out for them, but they instead end up messing things up.
You know what made me think of this? It's that series. God, what's the name? It's this kind of like Lifetime kind of series on Netflix. I'll try to think of the name. And there's this older woman who's like always meddling in the life of this main character, the guy. But like she messes things up for him that way. Like she means well, but she keeps messing things up.
Is it a popular series?
Yeah, it's the one I was watching like a while ago. With the girl, with the redhead girl. It's like in this town. And it's like this typical Lifetime series. Yeah. I can't remember the name. Yeah, to the point where he had to tell her off. And he was like telling her like... He kind of blocked her out of his life for a while because like she couldn't understand that she had to like stay out of his business. Yeah. Yeah, you can't fix stuff worldwide. maybe the next door neighbor. Yeah.
Some people get into politics because they failed to make a positive impact on the people around them. Yes, I think politics is a scapegoat for a lot of people. They kind of get on a podium and talk about their virtues, about the world, trying to fix the world, but they don't do it in their own personal lives. But they want to change the world, yeah. Yeah, but, yeah.
The next one's good. In thrillers, one person doesn't believe their partner and dismisses what they say or saw. Like the girl, she sees a ghost, right? And then she's all freaking out and she tells the boyfriend. And he's like, oh, honey, you're just tired. And blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, I would get so angry. That's crazy.
There was a recent one where two people saw it. Two people saw something we watched the movie and they both saw some supernatural thing. And other people were dismissing it. And it was like two people saw the same thing.
You know what's even dumber? Sometimes the person herself denies it afterwards. That also happens a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Like she sees something and then she's like, oh yeah, it must have been a shadow or whatever. Like you can't see a ghost and then think it's like not a ghost.
Yeah. Especially if it's your partner and they never do lie. We talked about this in terms of people who have seen ghosts or UFOs, right? If it's a person that never says these kind of stories and they're very rational and they tell you, look, this is an experience I had and it was real, I tend to sort of think, I kind of lean towards believing them. Not 100%, but like 95%, because this person has no reason to lie. They never lie. They're not superstitious. They don't believe and talk about this stuff. But if they go, yeah, I don't believe in ghosts and stuff. You've never heard me say this, but last night I saw this thing and it grabbed me and I was wide awake and it was putting me up on the wall.
Fucking hell.
You know, and bloody blah. And then I couldn't go back to sleep. So It's not like, and then I woke up. It's like, no, and then I couldn't go back to sleep. And like I was wide awake all night until now. I haven't slept all night. Like I'm awake still. So, and you're like, you just had a dream. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But I think movies do that for drama more than anything, because I think in real life you get pissed off if your friend's just dismissing you.
Yeah. You know what I was thinking of yesterday? This kind of storyline scene, right? Imagine, right? You're outside with like some people you know, and then like you see something right there, just hovering, like whatever it is, right? And you're just like, oh, what the fuck? And then like, they're like, what? Look over there. And they don't see it. And you're just like, are you joking? Like, you don't see that right there? And they're like, no, what are you talking about? And then you realize they literally can't see what you're seeing. Like,
yeah, but you're talking about something else now. You're talking about like only you can see something.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just storyline.
Yeah.
I'm just sharing a fantasy. Can you imagine if it was 41 now? We'd be dying.
Yeah. All right. Any other cliches? People who can't say no or speak up. I think also it frustrates you the more if either you experience it in your own life with friends and family, or like me, I didn't speak up a lot in my past and I made it a point to get better at that. So whenever I see it, I get really pissed off when I see it in a movie, because I recognize it, it sort of triggers something in the past in me. And I think that's why sometimes I get annoyed at guys in the manosphere. Not because I dislike them, but I remember what I was like and how I wasted time blaming the wrong things. And so I'm not angry at them, but I kind of remember that feeling and how silly it was to focus on that. And I was just wasting my time. It didn't improve my life. I was like, I was just blaming the wrong thing. So like not being able to say no, speak up or communicate. Whereas other people are like trying to find other answers. Oh, maybe vibe, didn't he see the signs? It's like, no, just say what you mean. Be direct, be honest. That's the answer.
Yeah. I think I mean this more in a literal sense. Like when in a movie, people are allowing others to like kind of walk all over them and they don't speak up. Or if literally someone is like kind of pressuring the person to do something, like, you know, when someone like invites them into their place or something, and you know that they don't want to go, but then the person is pressured and then they go anyway, like that kind of stuff. Like that really frustrates me. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, but that's what I mean. You place yourself in that situation and it can annoy you. That's why a lot of these movies, I place myself, whether it's with the girls in the Sex and the City, if I was like in their world or dating them, if I was around them, they would kind of, what they keep doing would annoy me. Or if I watch a romantic movie and there's a guy and a girl on a date and the girl's being a bitch to him and walking all over him, it frustrates me. And I'm like, just walk out and tell her to fuck off or something, you know? So when you see stuff that really goes against your values and what you would do in the situation, it really bugs you.
Yeah.
All right. It's been an hour and a half. We've been blabbing. I've mansplained myself enough to you. I hope you've gotten the message.
Yeah, I think we should just not talk about Sex and the City. Armored Ghost, romantic cliche that ruins relationships is marriage. What?
I think in the red pill space, they kind of think that marriage is a cliche or love is a cliche. Like actually the whole concept is stupid. You know how we talk about these scenes in movies are dumb, people should talk up, people should do the right thing. In the manosphere or red pill space, a lot of guys believe just relationships, romantic relationships are completely dumb. The right thing to do is not have a relationship. So we talk about when a person should say something in a romantic movie, they don't.
Yeah.
And somehow it's seen as love and that's how life is. We're saying, no, you talk and you tell a partner exactly what you feel. You do the right thing. The people in the red pill space think, no, the right thing to do is not even to have a relationship, is not to have a relationship. That's the right thing to do. You understand?
Okay. What if you fall in love with someone?
It's bullshit. It's a mirage. Love doesn't exist. Women are trying to manipulate you, live in the real world.
But that's not an answer to my question. What if that's what you say, but then you actually fall in love with someone?
They reject it. They're afraid of it, but they'll rationalize and saying, well, my fear is my mind and body protecting myself of the inevitable future outcome of her screwing me over, cheating on me, and ruining my life. So that's a protective mechanism. The rational thing to do now with a woman is not actually to be around her.
Yeah, but I think that what they then should say is not that they don't believe in love or relationships, but that they just don't want to do that because of negative consequences that could happen.
No, but the negative consequences that could happen prove that love doesn't exist. It's just a mirage. It's just like a drug to make men be with women so women can just ruin their lives. Because that's what's going to happen.
That's a contradiction.
It's just justifying it, right? But
No, but I'm focusing on the semantics maybe too much, but you can't say love doesn't exist because it has negative consequences. If love doesn't exist, there's nothing to have consequences.
But they will say, well, prove love exists. It doesn't. The emotions don't, like you can choose not to do things, then you won't have the negative consequences. That they will basically erase love and feelings because of the possible negative consequences. So that's their logic.
Yeah, they don't want to participate in it because it has negative consequences, maybe.
Yeah.
But it's not that love doesn't exist. Like, of course love exists. Like, your mother loves you.
Yeah, but they'll say that it's not useful. So therefore...
Sure, but that's something else.
Yeah, I know. You're correct. I'm just talking from their point of view. That they're saying it may be real in a intellectual, conversational, theoretical way, but it's actually not measurable or real. It's just subjective feelings. But if you get rid of them, life makes sense when you get rid of feelings and just live life practically. My life will be better. I won't take any risks. I won't get my heart broken if I never fall in love or believe in it. If I don't believe in love, I will never get my heart broken.
Yeah. They're just using the words wrong.
Yeah, they're kind of twisting.
They're
the
kind of
words.
generalizing it, but literally, it's not true. Like obviously, love exists.
They're gaslighting the conversation to get a safe outcome, like a perfectly safe outcome. Like, yeah, love exists and it could go bad, and there's ways to make sure it goes better than others. But to them, it's like it's too unpredictable, and we want a formula, and no one can give us a good way of doing it. So the only formula that will work is avoid the whole mess.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to them, that's easy just to erase love, to kind of like it doesn't make sense. And because love is hard and doesn't make sense, there's no clear line. It's better to just treat it as a joke, as a fantasy thing. It's not you say it's real. There's feelings, but what are feelings? We can't measure them anyway, and they just throw everything away via word salad. That sounds rational, but doesn't solve the thing.
Yeah.
Especially if you look at love as a feeling of just being attracted to something or someone. You know, you love this drink, you love your hobby, you love me, you love a lot of stuff. Okay, there's differences between loving a person and loving a thing or loving a hobby or whatever. But that feeling of attraction to something, you just really connect with that thing that exists. There's this like a bond, this attraction, this thing that happens between you and something else. They want to say, well, it's very hard to make sense of it. But if we actually just erase it from reality, life is a lot simpler. You know, if we ignore the feelings, life makes sense, but it doesn't, because you feel lonely. You feel you have no one to talk to. You know, life isn't better. So I think they're just trying to get rid of love because it's so complicated, and you have to take a lot of responsibility to make love exist properly.
Yeah, they're kind of lying to themselves a bit, I think. They're basically not participating. That's what they should say.
Yeah.
Because you can't say that love doesn't exist. Obviously, there are happy couples everywhere in the world and stuff.
Well, let me play devil's advocate. If like someone said to you, Stephanie, love doesn't exist, prove it to me. Prove that love exists.
Well, you can see that everywhere in the world.
Yeah, but how do you prove it to me?
Yeah, you can see it in the way that people behave.
Yeah, but that's your interpretation. They're going to say it's all subjective. So it doesn't exist like this cup exists. This exists. This is real. I'm touching it.
Yeah, it's not. You can't touch love. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, and then they go, well, it's not real. I can't touch it.
Yeah, but then nothing's real. Then no feelings at all are real because you can't touch them. Like that's kind of like very unintelligent to go down that route.
I know. But that's the way they think. They're very ontological, very three-dimensional. It's only real if you can taste, touch, feel, and whatever. But if it's just emotions, then it's just kind of childish emotions.
Yeah, I think that's kind of dumb. I mean, I can completely understand if men don't want to like have anything to do with women or date or whatever. Like, fine, that's your choice. You know, like that's fine. But then don't go so far as to like say that all these other things don't exist. What?
It's playing footsies.
It's better than playing something else.
He's always trying to fix problems for me. My mother is always trying to fix problems for me I don't have. Yeah.
That sounds frustrating.
Yeah. That used to happen a lot for me as well. Why don't you do this? You're supposed to do this. Why don't you do this? It's like, because I don't want to. But it doesn't look nice.
Yeah, but that also depends on how you react to that. You know? Like, if you just, like, allow that to happen, then she's always going to say stuff like that. So you need to, like, bite back a bit.
I think this saying by Ahmed Ghost, where he says a romantic cliche that ruins relationships is marriage. I think there's some sort of really witty comments. They sound clever, but they're just clever comments, but they don't really make sense. It's like, yeah, that was funny, that was clever, but it's not real. Because I remember there used to be a comment that I'd say, you know what the number one predictor of divorce is? Marriage. It's the biggest predictor of divorce.
Well, yeah, because you need to be married in order to have a divorce.
Yeah, and everyone's like, oh, mic drop. It's like, it's clever, but it's like it's kind of, you're being clever, you're not being accurate. You're not being objective.
Mm.
It's like, well, if you don't get married, like if you have nothing to do with women, you never get your heart broken.
Yeah, that's kind of like a jokey.
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest predictors is not communicating well.
I think that's the biggest, like I
Yeah.
said before, being avoidant is the biggest problem with men and women in relationships. Just avoiding saying things, avoiding doing things, avoiding to just communicate properly and be direct. And learning how to say what you mean without being a creep or a sleazebag or odd or awkward. Just being able to talk normally. And the people who spend more time in these little groups where they're feminist groups and like spurgy red pill groups and stuff, you just are always using the same language with your little weird bunch of people. And then when you go to a family function, you just talk to a normal person, they can't understand you. You think you're smart. Like I know all this knowledge about relationships in my lingo. They just think you're weird. Okay. Aldo, I didn't mean if you want me just to read a message. I meant to put a smiley face in front. If you want me to read it online, you don't have to put a smiley face every time you want to post a conversation with people. But if you want me to look at it as a question or a comment to read online, then do that. Anyway, I think we've gone through all the cliches. We've been talking for a while.
Yeah.
You're fairly hot. And it's getting
thank
warm.
you, babe. Thank you for finding me attractive. I like these fox emojis.
That's Akaru.
so cute.
He'll be happy. He loves foxes.
Why does he have a different name? You know what that name makes me think of? Like an orca. Like an orca name. Because his name was like similar. Wasn't it like Shamu or something?
Oh,
Shamu?
Yeah, Shamu. Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one at the Sea World or whatever.
Shawarma.
Shawarma. No, Karu likes foxes. And I think his name is named after some anime character or something. I don't know. Anyway, I don't get the whole fox thing. I don't think I've ever really been attached to like some animal that's my favorite. You?
I have a few favorites.
But like really as like your symbol. Like, you know, people say your spirit animal. Like if you do an avatar, you always like pick a certain animal. If someone says, what animal are you? Like,
no, I don't have like one favorite animal.
No,
there are
I've
a
never
few I like.
associated myself with an animal. Like if someone asked me, what animal would you be if you could be an animal? I'd really have to think about it.
I do know that. Something that can fly. Probably like an eagle or something. Like a bird.
Well, yeah, okay, if I think about it, I would only be one bird, an albatross, because they don't really have any enemies. They breed on an island near Antarctica that has no predators. They're in the sky all the time. Nothing really attacks them. And they just kind of left alone.
Yeah.
But aside from that, no, don't care.
What are we going to do this afternoon, babe?
Probably maybe go for a coffee or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe gym later. I'm not sure. Let's see how I feel. Yesterday was really hot. So today is less hot. What's today going to be? 30?
No.
Oh, high 20s, 27 or something, yeah?
Something like that.
All right.
25.
Anyway, let me see if there's any final comments before we start wrapping this up. How many people are watching us? Analytics. 4 people are watching. We're blowing up, babe. 4 people.
I know. I feel like we should do a stream one time where we talk more with the people, with the viewers.
Well, let's what comments are here?
Remember we had one stream a while ago where we had like so much interaction with everyone? We were basically just talking with them the whole time. That was really fun.
It depends, like time and place. Sometimes it's luck, but also sometimes the topic. Today's topic, we asked this question, we posted it a couple of nights ago. What romantic movie cliches have ruined your dating experiences? Comment below. You had me at hello. Yeah, there's a lot of romantic
But that's a pickup line.
Yeah, a lot of them are just like saying something cool, like, how are you doing? When you don't actually have anything to say, you're remembering lines.
Yeah, but that does depend on who says it. If it's a super hot guy, then it's awesome. Anything he says is awesome if he's hot.
Yeah, that's the other thing. A guy can be as obnoxious, rude, or dumb or weird as possible. But if you find him attractive from a distance before he starts talking to you, you're ready for everything to be positive that comes out of his mouth.
I do think that pickup lines are like, I don't really get why they exist. Because they're like very easily kind of cheesy. And I would rather, like, you just need to say hi. Like, why do you need to, like, say a whole sentence?
I'm just imagining some guy, because you're very literal with everything, a guy coming up to you going, is your dad a thief? Have you heard that one? No. Like, if a guy came up to you and goes, is your dad a thief? You're probably like...
No.
Because he took the stars from the sky and put them into your eyes.
Oh my god! Yeah, see, why do you need to do that? Why can't you just say, hi, how are you? Would you like a drink or something? I don't know.
Okay. Peg says, none. See, Peg's practical too. She would be the kind of person that would just say hi. But there are some out there that I am sure would raise an eyebrow. Jerry Maguire, you complete me. Never seen the movie. Yeah. I haven't seen many romantic movies for reference. I am forever blessed to have lived from personally off-script, beautifully deep, inspirational, meaningful, reciprocal, and unique to us in real life. Skeptic or against all odds? This is proof. Hang on. Skeptic or against all odds? This is proof it can and does really happen to some if open to it. Yeah, like Peg's basically saying live in the real world and just say hello and have a conversation like you suggested. Where is it? Y&T Fitness UK says, the lovesick and desperate man chasing the woman, acting like he can't live without her when she's saying no and walking away while having to do everything in his power to win her over. Yeah, I can't stand that. I think a lot of guys cringe at that, but women love that. The guy forever chasing her. Especially the Jennifer Lopez ones where she's like older. She's in her 50s. And there's some young hot guy who looks like a model and he just wants her for some reason. And she's like either already not wanting him because she's got a career. She's like really hard. She's pushing him away. And he just won't take no for an answer because she's so beautiful. He just sees something about her regardless of how he treats her. I think women get off on that. No matter how much a woman acts badly, this guy cannot stop just seeing more beyond her and wanting her and things like that. Don't you find that in a lot of romantic movies?
Yeah, I guess sometimes.
That wasn't a confirmation, babe. You didn't really see that, or you don't see that in movies? Like the guy's really desperate, he's chasing a woman and the woman really doesn't want him or has no interest. And he doesn't take no for an answer. He's always chasing her, regardless of being pushed back.
Yeah, I guess sometimes. I can't think of an example, but...
If she likes you and wants you and expects you to chase her, it's one thing. But if she isn't interested and quite literally wants you to go away, you'll probably get arrested. Then we're told to figure out which one it is by the way she shifts her eyes in one direction or another. Yeah, all the signals to me are bullshit. I had it happen I told you about this, where a girl pretty much said no.
Yeah.
And then I stopped. And then next time we bumped into each other, she goes, why did you stop? I go, because you said no. You didn't. Yeah, but I wanted you to keep going.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it is silly. Silly games, you win silly prizes or you win nothing. So it's really stupid.
I'm hungry.
Have you had enough?
Yeah.
Yeah, usually you want to keep the streams going.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
But I feel like
I feel like your battery's running out.
yeah, like my mind is wandering a bit, and I'm hungry, and I'm hot, and
All right,
yeah.
we're gonna go. The energy's dropping, and we want you to leave on a high. Hopefully, you're ruining the mood, babe.
Am I?
No. All right, we're gonna go and try and make the most of the weekend, and we'll see you on the next stream or video or whatever we do.
Yes.
Yeah. Leave your comments down below, and yeah, we'll catch you later.
Bye.
Bye.